exciting today to have my wife Nancy join us again in front of the Awesome Marriage cameras. She's going to answer some questions that some of our lady leaders on Awesome Marriage have asked and things that they want to know, and hopefully that some of you would like to know the answers to also. So the first question today is, when we started to have a family, how did you manage to share your time and energy between the kids and me?
I always tried to make the daytime time with the kids where we would get everything done, and then in the evenings when you would come home, I would try to have, pretty much dinner ready to go, them ready with their homework and that kind of thing, so that we could have the evenings together. And then, weekends we just kind of shared with the kids and that kind of thing. So date night always helped. Every weekend we made that commitment.
When did we start date nights?
Well, we just never stopped. We had them, ever since before we got married, and we just never stopped.
I think it did make a big difference in that. Do you think it was harder for us when the kids were still, in the first 3 or 4 years of their life, when they were more needy to find time for ourselves? How did you feel like you handled that?
Yeah. The good thing was they went to bed a lot earlier, so, that was always a good thing. But, they just do take a little extra time when they're real young, but you just, I try to make sure that we carved out the time we needed in the evenings and a date night.
And it definitely made a difference.
I agree.
It made a huge difference for us.
I
When parenting your children, were you and Kim usually on the same side as to how they were disciplined? Was one more easygoing, one more strict? And how did you handle this? Oh boy.
I was the strict one.
Yes.
And you were very lenient.
Yes.
And they, adored you during those times, and, would be a little angry with me. They turned out great, so I guess whatever we did really worked, but it was hard being pretty much the only one that did the strict part.
Yeah, and I think, definitely if we could do it over, I would meet you more halfway, because I think probably the more lenient I got, the more strict you got. And so and then if we, instead of kind of coming together. But I think as the kids got older, I think we got probably maybe more on the same page at the end of the time before we left.
Yeah, I was worn out.
You were tired, that's right, there was nothing left. But I think at that time too, we realized that they were doing pretty good overall.
True.
Okay, last question today. Did you ever have separate checking accounts? If you did it cause a problem? And if you didn't, how do you see that?
Well, we never did have a separate account, and I think it would be very hard to have separate accounts. I know people do it all the time. I just always like knowing that what I had was yours, what you had was mine. It was all together, and we had a budget that we worked on together, and we always knew where we were financially, So I think for us it was better to do it as one.
I think it was, and I think getting married early probably helped us in that, but I do think it's healthier that way, and I think, and then I think as we grew spiritually and realized that this is all God's and we just manage it, it made that transition into that much easier, because we were already kind of doing it that way.
But he does let me put the check in the pail every week.
Yes, I do.